thank goodness you're here. One more cup of coffee and I would have busted through the roof.
I'm sorry it took longer than I expected.
I just didn't want Cassie to get here before you did.
Well, I had to wait for my contact at the courthouse.
So you got the records, right?
Oh, yes. Everything we want to know about Reva's little sister and more.
Ellen, you are the best.
Well, if I'm not the best, I'm at least the top 5.
There must be something here we can use.
There is. And this is it. Right there.
What's this? Is this Cassie's daughter?
Yes.
Well, we know that she's saving up for a custody fight, but how long do you think it's going to take before she gets her child out of foster care?
Well, Cassie's a little worse off than I thought. You see, there's a restraining order against her. They don't want her near the child. They're afraid that she'll take it and run.
Wow. Cassie has a worse life than I thought. Worse than the one that I made up for.
What do you mean by that?
Must be killing her to be away from my little girl.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
She certainly has those shame-piercing eyes, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. That's right.
Well, Annie, the bottom line is our timing could not be better. Cassie is more desperate than we thought.
And desperate people do desperate things.
They sure do. All we have to do is convince her that we are helping her, and that's all, huh?
Cassie! Thanks. All right, you guys, order anything you want off the menu. I got paid last night. Well, actually, I'm not very hungry, but thank you, Cassie. Well, don't you do that to me, too. I hate eating alone. I'll take the breakfast special if it's still available. Pancakes and some bacon. Okay.
Oh, I believe I'll have the same, except bring me a glass of tomato juice, please.
Figured you for a guy to say tomato.
Why is that?
Well, instead of the regular way, tomato. You get to be able to read people pretty good when you do what I do. I can imagine. No, you can't. Not unless you spent time up on a stage taking off your clothes in front of a bunch of strangers. No, I can't say that I have. I didn't think so. 99% of my customers would say tomato juice. It's true every now and then you get some high-class guy in there for kicks, but that's not why you two were in there now, was it?
Well, she's got us. You see, Cassie, we were in the neighborhood looking for a restaurant. We got lost, so we went into your place to ask directions.
Yeah, and we were a little surprised to find out what kind of place we were in. Yeah, that's how I feel every night when I show up for work. Anyway, I'm very grateful for you showing up when you did in the alley last night. Those two creeps.
I'm glad I was there.
Cassie, I don't mean to offend you, but isn't it very difficult to do what you do every single night? It's a living. It's not the classiest or the prettiest way to do it, but I gave up worrying what people thought about me a long time ago. Doesn't your husband mind your job? Oh, no. Been there, done that, and never again. Breaking free of my husband was the second best thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, it's none of my business, Cassie, but how did you get into this line of work?
Well, it's not like you get into my line of work. It's more like you find yourself there. And the only reason you stay is just like everybody else. The money. Paycheck. And you're very good at it. Thank you. I mean, people don't know, but I am a trained dancer. I mean, Teasers isn't exactly the New York City Ballet, but it's the best I can do at the moment. So.
Tell us about your family. Where do they live?
My family? Why do you care about my family?
Well, I was just wondering, that's all.
Bull. I'm not buying the act here, guys. So let's put some cards on the table. Who are you, and what the hell do you want with me?
I'm Alan Spaulding, and this is Annie Dutton. We're here on business from Springfield.
I've never been there.
Well, there's no reason why you wouldn't.
What kind of business are you in?
Well, family-owned business. We're into many things, shipping, oil. We also run a number of foundations.
Must be doing pretty good, then.
Why do you say that?
Aren't foundations the way rich people hide their cash?
So I've heard.
So what are you two to each other? Excuse me? You're not married. Are you a couple? An item? Do you squeeze the same tube of toothpaste in the morning? Actually, Cassie, Alan and I are friends. Now who's asking the very personal questions? It's my turn. And besides, I'd like to know who I'm eating with.
Well, who do you think you're eating with?
I thought you guys were with social services. And why would you think that? Because they're trying to take my life away. No, scratch that. They've already taken my life away.
How can they do that?
you remember when I told you that breaking free from my husband was the second best thing that ever happened to me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing is my daughter. And she's in foster care right now.
For how long?
I don't know. They just slapped a restraining order against me, and now I can't see her. And that's why I was meeting with the lawyer last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what's your daughter like?
Do you have all day? Tammy is the sweetest, prettiest, smartest 6-year-old you ever laid your eyes on. And I'm not just saying that because I'm her mother, because everyone says so. And she can dance, boy. Much better than I was when I was her age. And I know that if she got the chance, that she could really make it. So I'm saving so when I get her back, I could, you know, take her and put her in one of those schools for the talented kids, you know, the performing arts. Because I know that if she had a shot, she could make it.
I bet you would.
What about you? Do you have kids?
No, I don't have children.
You're young. You will, and when you do, boy, you will see what it's like to love something like that.
Cassie, why did the court take your daughter away from you?
It's a long story. My loser ex got busted for drugs, and he lied and said I was involved with them. By the time I got cleared, she was already in the system. I've been trying to get her back. I mean, that's why I'm working where I'm working, because it's great tips, and I'm gonna need a powerhouse lawyer to get my baby back, not that clown that I had to meet with last night. This is where you sock it to me, right? You guys are with the IRS. I can't believe I told you about my tips.
Cassie, that's not it at all. As a matter of fact, Annie and I may be able to help you.
Cassie, Ellen and I sort of have a problem, too, and we were thinking maybe we could help each other out.
Like how?
Well, we came to Chicago on business to find a detective, a woman detective.
Why?
Well, it's a rather sensitive matter,
Ellen, why don't I explain it to Cassie? It's kind of a confusing corporate thing, you know. Let me see if I can simplify it for you. Well, Alan's company isn't doing quite as well as you may think. How do I explain this? Think of Alan's company like a mom-and-pop run candy store.
The little guy.
Exactly, exactly. And his competitors, the same people who are trying to destroy Alan's livelihood, are trying to make Alan's candy store look like it's not quite on the up and up.
A corporate sabotage deal.
Right.
Exactly, Cassie, exactly. And we wanted to hire somebody to go and take a job in the big bad Goliath company, and maybe once in a while, occasionally, come back to us and report to us on what they're doing.
Are they looking to hire a stripper?
No, the detective that we were going to hire would be more like a receptionist or a secretary, something like that.
Oh, well, I took a couple computer courses, and I worked as a temp for a few weeks.
Perfect, Cassie, but really all you need to do is just keep your pretty little eyes and ears open.
And report back to Mom and Pop.
That is exactly right.
And Annie, you forgot to mention salary. I was thinking along the lines of $50,000. I'm sure that's more than you're making right now, Cassie.
I've read a novel once about corporate sabotage, and it worked out really bad for the spy.
Believe me, there is no risk or danger involved whatsoever. So, what do you say?
I say it's too good to be real. Thanks. But I don't think so. What do you guys think, that I bought my brain at the Five and Dime? Look, I may not have gone to college, but I'm not stupid.
No one is saying that for a minute,
I'm
Cassie.
so sorry if I was talking down to you. It's just this corporate stuff can be dull and dry.
No, see, it's just that no one gives you that kind of cash unless they want someone damaged, paid back, or dead. And whichever one it is, you can count me out, because I got enough problems.
Cassie, if you walk out that door, you will be making the biggest mistake of your life.
Look, I thought I made myself clear. I'm not buying what you're selling.
Cassie, hold on. You know, I see the world divided up into two sections, the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, so what else is new?
It seems like a lot of people get the break. It's like the guy in Florida who's retired in the condo seems to be the one who wins the lottery, but the other people fight to try to get a little piece of the pie, and they still come up short.
Are we talking about me, or are we talking about you?
What's the difference? Either you understand what I'm saying or you don't. Before you shut us down flat, Cassie, why don't you give our offer a second thought?
Because I have other things to think about.
Like Tammy? Like when you're gonna get her back? For good?
She's the only reason I wake up in the morning.
And that's why I don't understand this. If you take this job, you'll be this much closer to having your little girl back. To having her in your arms. Don't you want that? It's your decision, Cassie. You have to make it. Come on, Ellen. I think it's time for us to go.
Wait. I guess it wouldn't kill me to hear this plan of yours.